What's up, guys? It's Crypto Yetti coming back at you with a video on Gandhiji. This is going to be an update from this weekend that basically I would call the semi-official launch. So what we got going on here, let's check it out. First of all, I am a believer, so I'm going to click this link. Now, so obviously I'm already signed in with MetaMask, so I was an early investor. I copped some tokens, obviously. I did make a lot of dividends from Saturday to about Wednesday night. I reinvested those dividends, so this combined dividends that you see right here, $312, that is basically what I've accumulated from Thursday, Friday, and today is Saturday around 3 p.m. So that's about 2 days worth of action. Now, what happened since Saturday? Saturday we saw the price, this contract balance price right here, went from about 20 ETH, 25 ETH to about 170. So actually that move was a combined move from about Friday also. I think Saturday it was actually around 50 ETH in contract. But anyways, you get my point. So we have a move from 20 to 50 to 50 to 170 was the high. And since then it is, backed off a little bit. My breakdown of what happened was basically a lot of the US investors that, thought this was a great idea and basically thought it was about the moonshot, for the most part, they all jumped on board, right? And then the contract ran up to about 170. Well, it doesn't look like the Indian investors were quite ready to jump in on this. So it looked like the US investors basically decided, they had wet feet on the idea and was going to pull out until they saw some significant movement in this contract from the target market audience, which would be the Indian investors. But with that being said, there is a lot of YouTubers each day. The Gandhiji dev in Discord is adding basically a new YouTuber every other day that's going to be pushing content out to the Indian investor, and that is a positive note in my book. When you have more and more people that are willing to come on board basically, and to spread the word about Gandhiji, to reach the people that is a necessity to get this project going and for it to become successful. Now, what you see in most of these clones, they pop up. Go check it out. Like, they pop up, right? They'll moon for about a week or two, and then they'll sell off. And one might ask, why is that? Why don't these, keep going up and competing against, say, Proof of Weak Hands, which is on a slow descent from, where is it at? A very slow descent from 20,000 Ethereum in contract down to about 5,000 Ethereum. Well, answer that question, quite frankly, is all these contracts, all these games like Proof of Trayvon James, POWH, what else is there? You got well, looks like a lot of them fell off pretty hard. Craig Grant now. Those are targeting the same pot of money, the same people that had invested in Proof of Weak Hands. That's what those people are going after. They're going after that same pot of money. Now, I don't. Yeah, that could work. Yeah, you'll get a lot of volatility. You'll get huge rises real fast, and then on the downside you'll get huge dumps, because there just flat out isn't enough people to come in and sustain these projects. And why is that? It's because it's the same group of people, and they're spread thin. They're spread thin. Why are they spread thin? They're spread thin because they're putting all their money, they're going in and out of all these other different projects. Now, how do you fix that situation? Well, the best way that I can think of is you target an audience that isn't playing in these smart contract games. And India in Asia is basically a new frontier. It's a new pot of money, so to say. And when they all jump in, what happened when proof of weak hands first came out, right? It had the advantage because it was first to market. What happened? It just went up and it went up and it kept going up and it kept going up because it had that momentum, because it was the first of its kind, because more and more people kept piling into it. Since it hit its meteoric rise, there's been lots of clones that have came out that have made proof of weak hands lose, in my opinion, a pretty substantial amount of Ethereum. Now, these other people that are pulling out, they maybe see the writing on the wall, but in my take, they're more of the gambling type, and they're going to buy in at the bottom of one of these clones, pump it, and then once it rises, and they'll, 5 or 10 or 15 times their money, and then, that's a pretty good trade right there in my book. But what is missing in the picture is one of these contracts to get enough momentum to make the moonshot that proof of weak hands had. And in my opinion, the only one that's closest to doing this in this space currently is Gandhiji. And that is because it is targeting India, it is targeting the Chinese market, targeting Korean market, and also the English market, which for the most part, all of the people in the English market are well aware of Gandhiji and what they're trying to do. They're just basically on the sidelines for the most part, and they're just waiting for one of these contracts to get enough momentum behind it that it's going to push past 1,000 Ethereum in contract and keep going up. Like I said, I believe India has the numbers. They have the number of people that could do this. And I think it will go a little bit like this. All those Indian YouTubers over there are going to push this out to them. What's happening right now is the early Indian investors, that are like, on the fence, but they're a little bit of gamblers. They're putting a little bit of money in, testing it out, seeing, is this legit? What's going on? And they're figuring out that, yes, they can pull their money out at any time. They're getting dividends on whatever money they put in, and as soon as they see the potential of this, they're gonna dive right in. And once they dive right in, they're all gonna start making videos, right? Just like the whole BitConnect phenomenon. Everyone's gonna start making videos and be like, look at, these are the dividends I made. Sign up with my link, my referral link, and that's what's gonna happen. And their friends are gonna tell their friends, and so on and so on. And the new pot of money is gonna come in, and it's all gonna come rushing into one contract, because that's what everybody over there is going to be talking about. That's what's going to be the hype over there. Gandhiji, you got Gandhiji? Yeah, I got Gandhiji. That's what's going to happen. The time frame of when that happens, I have no idea. I mean, it could happen this weekend. It could happen 2 weeks from now. It could happen, a month from now. How long did it take BitConnect to really get moving? I would say it took BitConnect probably about three or 4 months. 3 or 4 months before people started really dumping big money into BitConnect. Now, the thing with BitConnect is BitConnect ultimately, was a scam. It was a site that was controlled by humans. So basically, people controlled the contract address. Now, the difference is with Gandhiji is it's a smart contract. Once the contract is launched on the blockchain, that's it. There is no more human intervention. What it is what it is. So you're going to be able to take money out and put money in whenever you want. There's not going to be any restrictions on that whatsoever. Now, if we start looking at this new phenomenon called idle Ether games, these just came out probably about 2 days ago, and there was a whole bunch of hype around them. The daily active users moonshotted, and all these Pepe Farm, Fish Farm, Ether Anthill, game, Ether Chicken Farm. I think the first one was Shrimp Farm, and the highest that this one got to, I would say, was around 50 ETH. You can't even see the highs, but I would have to go to another website. But I can tell you right now, it was about 50 something ETH, and it's been 2 days, and it's already dying down. Where the hell is it? Right here, 40 something ETH. Another one, this Pepe Farm, the high was like 8 ETH, I think, yesterday, and now it's down to 5. Fish Farm, 1.97 Ethereum. These are basically garbage. There was a whole bunch of hype around it, and it's basically a game that dilutes itself into extinction. This is not a good thing to put Ethereum in, simply because once you put the Ethereum in, you can't take it out. You lock it in there. The only way you can get your Ethereum on something like this, let me go to it, is you have to actually sell your ants, right? So you make these ant hills, you buy these ant hills, and then you sell the ants to get your money back. And it's just, whatever you put in here, you're never gonna get back unless you sell enough ants, that you recoup the Ethereum that you put in to get these ant hills. Now, the way these things work is they just keep getting diluted and getting diluted and getting diluted, so your ants become less costly. So it would take you, looks like 552,000 ants to get fucking 0.6 Ethereum. So this is a huge gamble. I do not recommend this at all. This will probably eventually you're just going to end up losing your Ethereum. It's going to be locked in here, and you're not going to be able to sell enough ants to recoup your Ethereum. These are quickly dying off, in my opinion. I mean, it's already pumped and dumped, and it hasn't even been 48 hours. Now, back to Gandhiji. So, Punjabi MC, this guy is gonna come out with a song in a couple weeks. There's been rumors about, him collabing with other artists and coming up with something in the crypto space. There's a lot of people that listen to this guy's music. This is still pretty early. Everything is still early right here. The Indians that have invested in this are, I would say, the very, very, very early ones that are dipping their toes into this. And once they see that this isn't a scam, this isn't BitConnect 2.0, this is, you're in control of this, this is a game. There is risk to this game, like there's risk in everything. I would look at this kind of like investing in a stock in the stock market. Now, you put your money in, say, a company, right? I mean, this might be on, this is no Fortune 500 company. You know, this is definitely a little riskier than that. But let's just say this is a company, right? And you put your money in, and if the value of the stock goes up, your underlying investment increases in value. Now, what makes a stock go up, right? It's not really how good the company is. I mean, that does have a big part in it. Don't get me wrong. But what makes the value of a share go up? And it's called supply and demand. For a price of a stock to go up, there has to be more buyers than there are sellers. That's what drives the price up. Now, what makes people buy or want to buy the stock, that is a direct result of what the company is doing. Now, most companies don't give dividends. A lot of companies do give dividends, but those companies that do give dividends, they only give them on a quarterly basis. And some only give dividends once a year. And those dividends aren't going to be hardly anything compared to the dividends you're going to be getting in something like this. Now, in a traditional stock, when a stock goes down, your investment loses value. And for the most part, you don't get any dividends. Now, this is basically like a stock, right? So the stock is the Gandhiji contract. Now, what makes the stock go up in price? More people buying into the contract makes the price go up, just like a stock. You know, if nobody's interested in a stock, you know, what's going to happen? There's not going to be enough buyers, and then the sellers are going to have to eventually keep dropping the price until they find a buyer. So, but the difference is when this goes up, you're making dividends the whole time. You're getting your underlying investment increasing because the value is growing, and you're getting dividends at the same time. Now, on the other side, when there's more sellers than buyers, the value of your investment is going to go down, right? It's going to go down, which the same thing happens in stocks, but on the flip side, you're also getting dividends as it's going down. So it sort of counterbalances your losses of your investment a little bit. It doesn't completely counterbalance it, but that's the whole point of the game. So it's basically, it's a game of who has the biggest balls. You gotta have balls, and you gotta be smart. You gotta know when to hold, when to fold. And that's basically all it is. Am I taking a risk? Yeah, I mean, I have right now $5,600 in here. Yeah, that's a risk. But I'm betting that this is going to catch on in India, and it's going to be pretty big. So I'm willing to take that risk, and that risk I am taking. Like 2 days ago, like this was probably worth 13, 14 Ethereum. Now it's worth 8. Whatever. It is what it is. I put it in, and I'm still up. I'm making dividends the whole way. So I would say since Saturday, my combined dividends has been probably about $1,000, that I've made, including this. So it'd be 1,000 including this. So, and that's basically all I have to say about this. I think this project has some room to grow. People are coming in to the Telegram group is growing. The Discord is growing. The list of YouTubers that are going to promote this is growing. You got an MC on board. He's going to be making a song about this. What do you think is going to happen when that song gets released in India and everyone's playing the song, and it's talking about Gandhiji? Everyone's gonna probably get into Gandhiji. I'm pretty positive that's probably what's gonna happen. But like I said, also they're targeting the Indonesian market, the Korean market, the Chinese, and that's gonna be it, guys. That's a wrap. I just wanted to show you that these dividends are coming in. The price is pretty much stable for the most part after that sell-off compared to the other contracts. As you can see, or is it proof of Trayvon James, a meme clone, basically sold completely off. That's 61. It went from 400 to 61 in like 24 hours. So that's what happens when you buy into these meme clones, you know, that basically aren't targeting anybody different. They're targeting the same pot of money, and you got one person pushing it, and that's basically it. You know, with Gandhiji, you're gonna have a whole list of YouTubers, right? You're gonna have a freaking an MC that's famous, and I think there's a couple other things coming down the pipeline that you guys might be surprised about. So with that, you know, takes money to make money. You know, scared money don't make no money. That's for sure. The best time to get in is at these levels, because it's cheap. It's cheap. This thing's probably going to be over 1,000 Ethereum within 4 weeks, I'm guessing. But we'll see how that goes. Anyways, the Crypto Yetti, I'm signing off this shit. It's been way too long. Peace out.